Chapter 18 of Finn the Wolfhound by Alec John Dawson. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 18. Too Late. It was doubtless the campfire picture which filled the lone wolfhound's mind with thoughts of the master, but while there is no suggestion of telepathy about it, it was none the less an odd coincidence that, at the very hour of Finn's approach to a campfire in the bush, a dozen miles and more to the southeast of Tynagh, the master should have been approaching the big house by the harbour outside the capital city, 300 miles away, with a mind full of Finn. Yet so it was, and at that moment the master's reminiscent thoughts of the Wolfhound were to the full as affectionate as were Finn's thoughts of him. The mistress of the kennels had more than justified the doctor's prophecies. Less than a month of life in the mountains had given her back her old energy and strength. The third week there had given her also the acquaintance, soon to ripen into friendship, of a certain squatter's wife who was spending a few weeks in the hills with her husband and 3 children. Before the acquaintance was a week old, the mistress of the kennels had been pressingly invited to make her home with the squatter and his wife at their station, for a time at all events, in order that she might supervise the education of the 3 youngsters, and also give the squatter's wife the benefit of some of her experience in the rearing of dogs. The master could have found a minor opening on the same station, but decided that he could not afford to take up a life which offered no particular prospect of advancement, and was confirmed in his decision by an offer that was made to him at this time to join, in a working capacity, a small prospecting party which was setting out for a tract of back block country, said to be extremely rich in gold, copper, and silver. And so for a time the master and the mistress had parted company. Now, while there are many prospectors in Australia who, during a lifetime of adventurous toil, have never made much more than a labourer's wage, there are others who have made and lost many fortunes, to whose credit may be placed a score or more of rich discoveries and much wealth enjoyed by other people. The leader of the master's party was of this latter class, and less than 3 weeks after the outsetting of this particular expedition, the party had pegged out a considerable number of rich claims. Some of these claims had been of a kind which admitted of good deal of highly profitable alluvial working, but the majority called for the use of machinery and the outlay of capital. Accordingly, the party gathered to themselves such surface gold as was obtainable. The master's share came to £260, and then, laden with samples of ore, returned townward with a view to selling their claims to mining capitalists before starting out upon a second and more protracted journey. The fascination of the prospector's calling had gripped the master strongly, and he gladly agreed to remain a member of the party. But in the meantime, having reached the city, he had determined to pay a visit to Mr. Sandbrook's house. First, that he might have the satisfaction of seeing Finn again, and secondly, in order that he might try the effect of a substantial money offer in the matter of regaining possession of his Wolfhound. And so now, while Finn was thinking of him in the heart of the wildest part of the Tynagh country, 300 miles away, the master strode up the hill overlooking the city and the harbour, strongly hopeful that he might soon have the great hound he had bred trotting by his side. Mr. and Mrs. Sandbrook were both away from home, but one of the daughters of the house explained to the master how, after sulking desperately for 2 whole days, the Wolfhound had basely deserted his luxurious new home and never been heard of since. She showed the master an advertisement offering a reward of £25 for Finn's recovery, and was at some pains to make clear the indubitable fact that her father had paid very dearly indeed for the doubtful privilege of possessing for 2 days a Wolfhound who had treated everybody as if they were dirt under his feet. The Master expressed sympathy in sentences which were meant to be loyal excuses for Finn, and then he turned and walked back to the city, heavy at heart for the loss of the great Wolfhound whom he had loved, and feeling vaguely that the money he had made was not such a very precious thing after all. He placed the greater part of it at the disposal of the Mistress of the Kennels, and went back to his fellow prospectors. End of Chapter 18